So this indigo chapter, it has a background. Like at that time when this indigo movement started, then the condition of the farmers was very bad, especially in Bihar. Under that landlord system, the poor sharecroppers, the poor farmers, they had to give a part of their land, 15% of their land's harvest as rent to the British planters. So those British planters forced Indian peasants to grow 15% of their land as indigo crop. So 15% of that indigo crop, that total of the crop was given to the Britishers as rent. And later on, the Britishers started getting synthetic indigo from German, and now they didn't want Indian indigo. So they asked Indian farmers at Champaran to stop growing indigo, and because they did not want indigo crop as rent, so they asked them to give them that rent in the form of cash, right? So now they didn't get indigo crop, they wanted the compensation in person. So it was a problem which started then, because the Indian farmers were so poor, their condition was already from hand to mouth. They were not even able to manage their 2 square meals. But when the British planters asked them to submit or to give them the compensation of indigo in cash, they could not do this because their condition was already very terrible. It was here then that some farmers they resorted to rebellion. Some farmers submitted. They took loans from the landlords and all and started giving to the British planters as it is. But the farmers, those who because of the extreme poverty and troubles, they resorted to rebellion. And one of those farmers, the one who gave up, who did not want to give up to injustice to the British farmers, was Rajkumar Shukla. And he came to Gandhi and told him what was happening in Bihar. And Rajkumar Shukla was one of those poor farmers of Champaran, the one who was suffering because of this indigo movement. So he came to Gandhi and he told him all about what was happening in Bihar. And at that time, when he came to Gandhi, then Mahatma Gandhi was actually attending a conference at Lucknow. So for the time being, Gandhi was very busy. So he told that Rajkumar Shukla to come to him on some particular date and time, because by that time he would be free from those appointments. And Rajkumar Shukla, being very determined person, came to take Gandhi to Champaran on that very exact date. So Gandhi, it was a time when you can say which brought about a turning point in Gandhi's life, when Gandhi started to move towards Champaran with Rajkumar Shukla, because Gandhi was not a born leader. When he did not even know India very well. Knowing your country means that knowing your countrymen, knowing what conditions they are living in, what the problems of the Indians or the people are. So Gandhi went to Champaran along with Rajkumar Shukla, and he went there actually to solve this indigo case. What was the case of indigo? Like where the poor farmers had to be, saved from the clutches of injustice, given by the British planters to the poor farmers. So he went there to rescue the poor farmers, but he just did not go there and started initiating the court process and all. First, he started, getting information on the root cause of the problem. So he gathered all the evidences against the British planters. He gathered all the evidences in favor of Indian farmers. And at the top of it, he made Indian farmers realize that until and unless they are fearless, courageous, and united, no one can help them in their own land. Because at the time, the Britishers were taking advantage of 3 weaknesses of Indians. What were those 3 weaknesses? Number 1, the Indians were not fearless. Number 2, the Indians were not, of course, courageous. And number 3, they were not united. So when you are united, when you are fearless, and when you are courageous, then half of the battle is already won. Okay, because when you are fearless, then you know what is right and what is wrong. Okay, courage is not doing the wrong. Courage is doing the right thing in the right manner. Okay, and thirdly, you should be united. So Gandhi united the Indians and made them realize that no foreigner uh, can tell them to leave their own country. No foreigner can dictate Indians as to what Indians have to do on their own land. So Gandhi told these poor farmers that they have their own rights in their own land, right? So that feeling of fearlessness or courage and unity enthused these poor farmers to work for their or fight for their own right, and that was that which made in this indigo case to be won over in favor of the poor farmers. And Gandhi, being a leader, helped it all out. And it was during this indigo movement only that Gandhi experienced the victory of Satyagraha movement or the victory of disobedience movement. So he was able to win over the disobedience movement or of and all. And it was here there where Gandhi got to know like what should be the uh, what should be the map or the you can say course, or what should be the roadmap to get independence. And the roadmap to independence went through truth, non-violence, and what? And unity. Got it? So indigo. So Louis Fisher, he was born in, so I'm reading now the text. So Louis Fisher, he's the author. He was born in Philadelphia. He served as a volunteer in British Army between 1918 and 1920. Fisher made a career. So Fisher made a career So Fisher made a career as a journalist and wrote for the New York Times. The Saturday Review, and for European and Asian publications. He was also a member of the faculty at Princeton University. The following is an excerpt from his book, The Life of Mahatma Gandhi. So the book has been reviewed as one of the best books ever written on Gandhi by Times Educational Supplement. So when I first visited Gandhi in 1942 at his ashram in Sevagram in central India, he said, I'll tell you how it happened that I decided to urge the departure of the British. It was in 1917. So children, what was that year when Louis Fisher met Gandhi for the first time? It was in 1917 when Louis Fisher met Gandhi and asked him about his life. Then Gandhi told him the whole story, which helped him fight for the cause of the British farmers. So when I first visited Gandhi, so this Louis Fisher visited Gandhi in 1942 when he was at his own ashram in Sevagram. So Gandhi told him about his story of this Indigo movement and something which happened in 1917. So the point is that it was in 1917 that Gandhi started becoming an active participant for the freedom struggle of India, right? He had gone to the December 1916 annual convention of the Indian National Congress Party in Lucknow. So this is what happened in 1916 when he had gone to Lucknow to attend an Indian National Congress convention. There were 2301 delegates and many visitors. So more than 2,000 representatives had come. During the proceedings, Gandhi recounted. A peasant came up to me looking like any other peasant in India, poor and emaciated, and said, I am Rajkumar Shukla. I'm from Champaran and I want you to come to my district. So Gandhi remembers that it was at that time when he was at Lucknow to attend the Indian National Congress convention, It was there that Rajkumar Shukla, one of the poor and thin farmer, who came to see him. That person was from Champaran, and he wanted Gandhi to visit his district. Gandhi had never heard of the place. It was in the foothills of the towering Himalayas near the kingdom of Nepal. So Rajkumar Shukla requested Gandhi to visit him at Champaran. Where was Champaran? It was at the foothills of Himalayas near Nepal. Got it? So Rajkumar Shukla visited Gandhi in 1916 when Gandhi was attending a convention of the Indian National Congress, right? So at that time, Gandhi was visited by Rajkumar Shukla, and Rajkumar Shukla wanted him to visit Champaran. Under an ancient arrangement, the Champaran peasants were sharecroppers. Under an ancient arrangement, the Champaran peasants were sharecroppers. So who are the sharecroppers? The ones who are, so these poor farmers were actually the tenants, and they used to share a part of their land's harvest with the British planters. So the Champaran farmers were not the owners of the land. They used to share a part of land's harvest with the Britishers. Rajkumar Shukla was one of them. So he was illiterate but resolute. Remember, Rajkumar Shukla will be is one of the main characters of this part Indigo, because it is at the behest of Rajkumar Shukla only that Gandhi went to Champaran, and Gandhi's visit to Champaran, that is Bihar, will turn out to be a turning point in his life, right? So Rajkumar Shukla plays a very prominent role in shaping Gandhi's life as one of the most prominent freedom fighters of the Indians' freedom struggle. So he had come to who is he? Rajkumar Shukla. Rajkumar Shukla had come to the Indian Congress session to complain about the injustice of the landlord system in Bihar, and somebody had probably said, speak to Gandhi. So Rajkumar Shukla had come to this Indian Congress session because he just wanted to complain about the injustice of the landlord system of Bihar. And before he met Gandhi, he did not know who Gandhi was. It was only somebody who had told him to go and talk to Gandhi. Okay, somebody told him, like, speak to Gandhi. Gandhi told Shukla he had an appointment in Kanpur. Children, this Kanpur are the old spellings of Kanpur. So Gandhi told Shukla that he already had a fixed appointment in Kanpur and was also committed to go to other parts of India. So Gandhi's appointments were already fixed. Shukla accompanied him everywhere. Then Gandhi returned to his ashram near Ahmedabad. Shukla followed him to ashram. For weeks, he never left Gandhi's side. Fix a date, he begged. So Gandhi told Shukla that he had many appointments, and Gandhi went from one place to another for months. But this Shukla never left him. He was always after him. So finally, when Gandhi reached his own ashram at Ahmedabad, then also this Shukla was with him, and he was always requesting him to fix a date. For what did he want to fix a date? He wanted Gandhi to fix a date when he will be visiting with him his own land, that is Bihar, Champaran. Impressed by the sharecropper's tenacity and story, Gandhi said, I have to be in Calcutta on such and such date. Come and meet me and take me from there. So Gandhi was actually very impressed by the determination of this Rajkumar Shukla, and he finally told him, like, okay, on some particular date, I'll be there in Calcutta, and you reach there, and from there you take me with you to Champaran. Got it? So months passed. Shukla was sitting on his haunches at the appointed spot in Calcutta when Gandhi arrived. So finally, after many months, when Gandhi arrived in Calcutta, Rajkumar Shukla was already there. Okay, already we have read out that Gandhi was extremely impressed by the determination of Rajkumar Shukla, and Rajkumar Shukla was actually very determined. Even after months, he did not forget the promise made by Gandhi. And before Gandhi reached there, Rajkumar Shukla was already there. Okay. So why had he reached there already? Because he wanted to take Gandhi to his own Champaran. So he waited till Gandhi was free. Then the two of them boarded a train for the city of Patna in Bihar. So then two of them, they started going for Patna. They boarded a train. There Shukla led him to the house of a lawyer named Rajendra Prasad, who later became president of the Congress Party of India. So Mahatma Gandhi, accompanied Rajkumar Shukla to Bihar, right? So they reached Patna. At Patna, Rajkumar Shukla took Gandhi to the house of Rajendra Prasad, to a lawyer called Rajendra Prasad, and that very Rajendra Prasad later on became the first president of India, right? So Rajkumar Shukla took Gandhi to the house of lawyer. Who that lawyer was? Rajendra Prasad. So Rajkumar Shukla was also very well planned, though he was illiterate. Okay, so even despite illiteracy, despite poverty, he knew what he had to do. Okay, number one, he approached the right person to make him lead the case. Then he brought him to the right person who would be giving him the right information and the correct information on the case. Rajendra Prasad was out of town, but the servants knew Shukla as a poor human who pestered their master to help the indigo sharecroppers. So Rajendra Prasad at that time was not at home, but his servants, they recognized Rajkumar Shukla. They knew that he was one of those poor farmers who had been, asking their master. Who their master? Rajendra Prasad. The one who had been, asking or requesting their master to help the indigo sharecropper. So they let him stay on the grounds with his companion, Gandhi, whom they took to be another peasant. But Gandhi was not permitted to draw water from the well, lest some drops from his bucket pollute the entire source. So how did they know that he was not an untouchable? So Rajkumar Shukla took Gandhi to Rajendra Prasad's house. Now the point is, like, why did he take him to the Rajendra Prasad's house? Because Rajendra Prasad was a lawyer. Okay. So, but at the time, Rajendra Prasad was not at home, but servants entertained the poor farmer Rajkumar Shukla and even allowed him to stay there at night. They even allowed Gandhi to stay with him. But in the morning, they did not allow Gandhi to take water from the well because they thought like he might be an untouchable. So the point over there are two things. One thing mainly, like at this time, Gandhi, where Gandhi is going to fight for the cause of poor farmers, here Gandhi has also experienced untouchability. Gandhi was not an untouchable. Okay, Gandhi was not from that low caste, but even then he was treated like being being from the low caste. Because how could you know that whether somebody belongs to a low caste or higher caste? But the point is, but Gandhi experienced what happens when somebody treat you like an untouchable. So Gandhi will not only fight against indigo case, he will also fight against untouchability later on in his life. Okay, so here we are going to read in this chapter, the making of Gandhi as a leader. What makes one become a leader? It's not your academic qualification which makes you become a leader. It's not your, previous background. It's not your ancestral data which makes you become a leader. A leader is one who knows his countrymen. Okay, leader is one who knows his countrymen, who knows the problems of his countrymen, and who has the determination to solve the problems of his countrymen. The one who wants his country to become united, that is a leader. Okay. So here are the questions 1, 2, and 3. So you'll be writing homework. I'm giving you side by side these 3 questions. First one is only a tick. Strike out what is not to the following. Rajkumar Shukla was a sharecropper. He was a politician. He was a delegate. He was a landlord. What's the answer? Who was Rajkumar Shukla? Aditya Sharma, who was Rajkumar Shukla?
A farmer.
Yes, beta, what did you say?
A farmer.
Rajkumar Shukla was a farmer, or you can say from the options what it was, a sharecropper. Okay, sharecropper is a farmer who has to share a part of his land as a rent to the owner. Though the British planters were not the owners of the land, but they had become owners. Okay, they had confiscated the lands from the poor Indian farmers. Okay, so they were treating the poor farmers as the tenants. The poor farmers would be working upon the land throughout the year, and the British planters would take a part of the land harvest as rent. So that's why these poor farmers were called as the sharecroppers. Okay, so Rajkumar Shukla was a poor sharecropper. Okay, sharecropper's definition again, you people find out. Though I've told you, you write its definition and explain. Rajkumar Shukla was a sharecropper. Explain. Okay, I'll be asking you this question tomorrow. Rajkumar Shukla was a sharecropper. Explain. Is that clear? Second question is Rajkumar Shukla was poor, physically strong, illiterate. What's the answer? Was he poor? Yes, he was poor. Was he physically strong? No, he was thin. He was very emaciated. Was he illiterate? Yes, he was poor as well as illiterate. But his illiteracy will not make him look like illiterate, because though he was illiterate, even then he knew whom to contact for the solution of the problem. He was so determined. So the best answer, I guess, from these three options would be that he was poor. Okay, but he was illiterate, but he was not the one whose illiteracy affected his, mind or his action. So why is Rajkumar Shukla described as being resolute? In one line, I am giving you answer, but you explain it for about 30 to 40 words. Rajkumar Shukla was never left the side of Gandhi. He wanted Gandhi to reach Champaran. He wanted Gandhi to accompany him to Champaran. That he did. Okay. Though Gandhi was very busy, even then he was successful in taking Gandhi to Champaran. Why do you think the servants thought Gandhi to be another peasant? Because Gandhi was not very well dressed up. So why do you think they treated Gandhi like an untouchable? Because Gandhi was not that well dressed up. He was not dressed up like, though Gandhi was also an advocate. You people know this. He was highly qualified. Though when Gandhi went to Champaran, he was not dressed up that he would look like an officer. So they took him to be another peasant. So write these answers in your notebooks today. Okay, first question I've given you, Rajkumar Shukla was a sharecropper. Explain. Right, will you do that? Okay, so Gandhi, so from here we'll read tomorrow. Okay, so up till here, we have done only 2 pages hardly. So you people go through this much and you read even the next parts, right? Tomorrow we'll pick up